And then preview, yeah, sound.
Hello, welcome to Follow Everton. I'm Ryan, and I'm here with my good friends David and Mabbsy.
Hello.
Hi.
So we're going to be talking about the Aston Villa game, round 1 of 2 against Villa. The second game, ironically, hasn't been arranged yet, which is slightly.
But why is that?
I don't know. Maybe there's some scheduling issue. There was talk about actually having it between this game and the next.
It's ridiculous. At the end of the day, right? We haven't had Europe. They haven't had Europe. So what's been the issue? Is this to help the shite?
In what way?
In what way? We'll give them an advantage, psychological advantage, get more points than us. So we even, you know what I mean? I just think it's bollocks. Yeah. And then they'll make us, you know what they'll do? I can fucking guarantee it. Right, mark my words. That second to last game where we've got Wolves.
Okay.
You can fucking see that going to Villa. Mark my fucking words, we will not get a home game. Or they'll put it in.
They'll put the Wolves game instead. It'll be Villa away.
Yeah, or they'll fuck us over and we're gonna get a home
we'll
game.
Play Villa on the Saturday away, and then we'll play Wolves on the Tuesday or something.
Yeah, or they'll fuck us over and not change the Wolves game and put the Villa game in. I can just see it.
No, they won't do that. But I thought they were going to put it in this week so that we had to play Villa twice within 3 days. That would be a first.
There was talk about them doing that. It's that I don't think that's ever happened in Premier League history. A team playing Aston Villa and then playing them 3 games later. Well, it's not happened. We don't know when it is. This is the game in hand. That's
this has got to be one of the shortest reverse fixtures of all time in the Premier League.
It's bollocks, isn't it? They just make their own fucking they make their own fucking rules. Don't remember like a few seasons ago when we were playing on the Saturday at home and then the shite were allowed to play on the Sunday at home. They take the piss and starting to take the piss now, really. Let's be honest.
Mabs, can I just say, great setup. I'm loving it's a lot more professional. The headset, the background, I'm liking it.
Sounds that's the way I'm going to do it from now on.
Our channels
looking at my kitchen.
It's nice. So should we get onto it? I mean, there's lots to talk about. We haven't spoken in a while. I think we'll save that to the end of the video. Stuff like the Marcel Brands and the Super League. If we've got time, we'll touch on them. And also with the Ancelotti interview, he did a good interview today actually, where he said he prefers Crosby Beach over Venice.
He's signed a new contract too, isn't he?
Yeah, and he wants a new contract. I think he's just happy.
Let's just give him one. Man, asked how much he wants. Let's give it.
5-year deal straight away. Stalker James' new deal. We'll touch on that. And for watchers live, if you're dropping in on the video, you can comment. Be sure you do that. And if you're watching back, like a lot of people do, then be sure to comment as well. We do watch them and look at them and be sure to like and subscribe. So Aston Villa, I've watched them a lot this season. And they're not quite Jekyll and Hyde. They're more good than bad. Obviously, the Liverpool 7-2 springs to mind. And the game at Anfield, they weren't bad recently. I've watched them in the meantime in different games, and they've got a lot of potential, that Villa team. Ex-Everton player Ross Barkley's in there as well. Obviously, he's come under some criticism recently. Do you think this is a good opportunity now for Aston Villa to stake their claim to European football? Are you there, David?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, what did you say?
Is it a good chance for Villa to stake their claim for European football still potentially, or do you think they're out of it now?
I think they're too far behind, to be honest. I mean, they have got the game in hand, but when the table springs to mind, are they 11th? 1 place below Arsenal or Leeds at the moment. So you've got Arsenal, Leeds, and Aston Villa who are in that sort of chasing pack just behind us. And I think obviously there's a 6-point gap between us and Arsenal right now. So I think it's over really for Villa this season. I think they've got very little to play for. So I think there's a real danger that their season will peter out. But yeah, we'll have to see.
I don't think they're on the beach quite yet. I mean, the draw with West Brom's a disappointing one. I think that was their last fixture, and West Brom still look down and out. But you'd say they've got something to play for. The thing with Villa is they've done really well this season. I think in terms of the improvement from last year. Quickly in the comment, yeah, hi buddy. He thinks we'll win 2-1. Yeah, we're really good. We'll obviously do some predictions at the end. Stay with us. Villa have impressed me because if you think about where they were last season, they were battling relegation, and now they're up there as sort of mid-table pushing for Europe.
Well, by all rights, they should have gone down last season. If it wasn't for a dodgy VAR decision, and it would have been very much different ball game. Oh, sorry, but so I'll beg your pardon the pun.
Yeah, no, you're spot on, Mr. Mabbs. It is one of those. They shouldn't have been in the league, but they are in the league. And I think if you look at the rise, the players they brought in, some really good professionals. Ollie Watkins as well. He's got great quality up front. And when we move into the team selection, I'm going to explain why I've gone in relation to looking at specifically the Aston Villa forwards and their movement and pace. We'll come on to that with the team selection. But in terms of their overall season so far, I think they are delighted with what they've done. And I think it is a great achievement for them. To go from newly promoted to avoiding relegation and then hopefully top 10 finish.
Yeah, they've done well, haven't they, to turn it around from nearly getting relegated to being, nearly a top half team. If you look at their team now, they have strengthened and they have a solid team now all throughout the side, and there's good balance there. And obviously 1-star quality player in Jack Greenish, who we know is going to be out for this game, which is obviously going to be a big loss for them. And I think he's been out for about 8 or 9 weeks now, and their form has been up and down over that period. So you've got to hope that without him, that's kind of their main danger taken away.
Yeah, I don't know whether this broadcast is actually showing up on our Facebook page for some reason, which is a bit annoying because that's where we get a lot of our viewers. So, Mabs, if it's okay with you, are you able to share that on
just check? I'll just check
your page, and I'm just very quickly going to share it on our Facebook page. Just while we do that, David, if you just want to briefly touch on the new contract for Marcel Brands. Just very briefly, your immediate reaction to that, was that something you were really keen to see happen and really excited by, or you're a little bit underwhelmed?
I don't know. I think we need stability, and I think by signing him up for another 3 years, I think it was, we've got stability there. We've got a partnership that he's developing with Ancelotti. They know what players they're going to go for, and by having him there still, it keeps that, it keeps that stability that we need now. Let's not chop and change. We could get worse. Maybe we could get better. But I mean, there was talk about him being linked with Manchester United and other clubs looking for a director. So, I mean, he's not that bad, is he? He's got some very good players for us. Also a few shockers, but it's been more good than bad, I would say. So, I'm generally pleased with that.
We'll go more into that later, but obviously just relating that back into the Aston Villa game, their recruitment's been really good, hasn't it? Why hasn't Everton looked at someone like Ollie Watkins, a young Championship striker? He's come into the Premier League and he's looked like a real talent, a real prospect, and he's only young, and I think he's an English player as well. And some of the other players they've brought, I know we looked at their centre-back, the one with the curly hair, Mings, is it? The recruitment at Villa's been quite good, and obviously we'll talk in more detail about some of the other teams like Leicester, where we think we should be getting, looking at the same players they're going for. But Villa recruitment has been really good for them to get to where they have been and where they are this season. I think that signing of Ollie Watkins has made a big difference, hasn't it?
Well, remember this what they beat the Shite 7-2. Remember that at the beginning of the season? Like, you can't forget that. That was a fucking amazing result, to be fair. But that sent them on the down, and by the way, that was with Van Dijk in the squad. So, amount of shit they give you about the missing Van Dijk, it's bollocks. But I think there we go.
That's something you can lodge at sort of the newly promoted sides. They often come in the league, and if they're any good at football, they often lack a clinical finisher. You look at Fulham, for example, this year. If they had a finisher up front, if they had Watkins, I think they might be out the relegation zone now. So the difference in that signing this year has been huge for them. And having Greenish and Barkley on loan is a bit of creativity to add to that. They brought in Traore with a bit of pace. So they've got
width, haven't they, as well, at Villa? They're not just a team that rely on the strikers. They've got wingers, El Ghazi and some other players. They seem like a solid team. Even the defence, I touched on Mings there as well. He looks like a rock-solid left centre-back. He's been a bit clumsy on a couple of times, actually, that I remember watching him one game. I think he got sent off. But I think they look like a solid team, and they've got pace, and they've got players out wide. And then you're talking in midfield, Jack Grealish, Ross Barkley. There's creativity there. And Matty Cash, is it? I think there's some good players in there, workman-like players, but they're not yard dogs. I mean, there's a lot of good positive things to say about them. I think they move the ball quickly into the flanks. They like to cut inside. The fullbacks get forward. The midfield's got creativity, and they've got a striker up front, and they even got a decent goalie. So there's plenty to like about Aston Villa from a footballing perspective.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, good as well. I'll be brutally honest with you. I've always had a soft spot for Villa. Always, they're a tradition. You know what? They're a very traditional club. They are they're British football like royalty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very much similar to what we are as a club, and I can see a lot of Aston Villa and Everton and stuff like that. So I've got a lot of respect for Villa. I really have.
In recent times, traditionally these games were draws, and we'd really come unstuck against Aston Villa. But obviously, with the relegation and stuff, and it's hard for me to say, because there's no previous fixture this season, which is quite ridiculous that I'm even saying, the previous fixture this year, there isn't one. Last year, obviously, we played Aston Villa. Can you recall the results?
I went to both of them.
A draw. We drew
away.
Did we draw?
Did Benteke
I thought we lost. I thought we lost last season.
We played them in July, and we played them in July at home, and we drew 1-1. Walcott equalised to deny a Villa win in the 87th minute. I remember it well now. The Walcott header. I mean, it shows that we've been frustrated by them, and they weren't even that great that last season, were they?
No. Well, as I say, we'll give the relegation fodder. But I mean, yes, Jasmine, you're right. Boys in blue. That was 1-0. It was. No, that was the. I'm complete. I was at both of those, and my deal's that wrecked.
We were doing nothing at that point. Now you got to remember, I think our season had just tailored out, and I think we went to Wolves away and lost 3-0, and there was nothing for us to play for.
That's it. The away game. That's it. I thought we got smashed 2-0. 2-0.
Yeah, I remember that was right at the start of the season.
Yes, it was.
Like a Friday night or something.
Yeah,
was that
the Friday night game?
Beat Villa, we go top. Was that?
It was the second game, and it was Friday night, so we would have gone top, with that.
Yeah, it was. I remember that. We were getting the coach down, but yeah.
Moving on to the Toffees, in terms of this league position, that lucky smash and grab, if you want to call it, against Arsenal has taken us from kind of in danger of walking all along Crosby Beach together to something potentially maybe getting into Europe. And if you look at it, I think we're only 3 points off the top four. I know we'll talk about that at another stage, but this is another must-win. You can't afford to drop points, especially
every game now is a must-win for us. At the end of the day, we can't. I'm just hoping they haven't gone on holiday. They haven't packed their fucking beach towels and gone on holiday. I don't think they have. I think Carlo will be whipping them every day. We've had plenty of rest, and I just think it's a must-win like any game now.
It's crunch time, isn't it? We have to win every game, and look at what we've got coming up. We've got Man City. So let's take Man City out. That's a loss, automatic, probably. So we need to win these games coming up.
That's not a walk in the park by any stretch of imagination, given their form this season. Sheffield, well, yeah, you'd hope you'd win that. Considering they're well and buried. And then Wolves, again, an unknown quantity because you don't know what's turning up. And then obviously we've got the reverse fixture of Villa away, which again still hasn't been scheduled, which is a joke.
Just an update for you, actually. And if you're watching, I don't know whether you knew this, Jack Grealish isn't fit for this game. He's undergoing another scan. He might not even make the Euros. That really does change things. And they've only won 2 games since he's been out. I think if he's in the team, it's a completely different prospect. I think he destroyed us when we played them at Goodison, I remember, off the left. So it is a different ball game, and I think a Villa team without Grealish and Barkley gone off the boil, although there is Matty Cash and Ollie Watkins, I think we should have enough.
Again, you say Ollie and then Barkley going off the boil, but you know
he's going to love that, isn't he?
It's at Goodison, and yeah, you know what? I don't think you can write off Barkley. Not at all. No, I don't think that. You know, in any other game, you may say, "Well, he's off the boil," but in this game, no.
Has he scored against us yet?
I don't know. I don't think he has.
Not yet, anyway.
No. But again, so that's another threat that we have because he's not a known quantity. He'll be up for this. He will be up for it. No, there's no doubt in my mind.
If he plays.
I think
he's having a difficult time, isn't he? He's kind of going off the boil.
Yeah, he's going. But as I say, this is not going to be a normal game for him. This is coming back to Goodison, you know, and trying a point to prove.
Yeah, he'll want to dictate the game, won't he?
Yeah, no one knew what went on there, and you know what? As I say, yeah, he's a rat and all that. But I mean, if he had the fans, we will maybe that's a different prospect. But because he won't be getting any stick now. So he will come and play his game, does what he does.
Friend of our channel, George. Hi, George. Barkley will enjoy playing at empty Goodison. He won't get any. He's going to relish that, isn't he?
Yeah,
I mean, yeah,
George, just
spot on. He's just going to come in there, and he's kind of just going to be like, he's got nothing to fear. He can finally, he can be a little snide, player and get a goal, and he can kind of get away with it without the fans being there. And he'll love that. But his career has
taken back.
No, I think he is kind of what we.
Tough, isn't it?
He never fulfilled his potential, did he?
He's just one of those.
Yeah, but something about him that I would potentially. I remember probably get a stick off people, but I don't know.
Let us know in the comments.
He left, didn't he? Left to go to Chelsea to apparently play with world-class players, which he thought was going to improve him. But from what I've seen, and I think most people would agree, he hasn't been any better than when he was with us.
No, he's not got a footballing brain, and that's his problem. He's still got potential, but he's one of those players. You'll get to 30, unfortunately, and you'll say, "Oh, yeah, Rossi's a good young player. He's got potential." What? He's 32? He's going to be one of those. His next move, unfortunately, you don't know where he's going to go because Chelsea don't want him back, and Aston Villa don't want to sign him. Moving on then to Everton's team against Villa. Now, I'm cautious about bringing Mina in. Now, I did think we missed Mina, and we have missed him, and I think he's reliable in general. You know what you're going to get with him in terms of, he's physically strong, and I think he reads the game well, and he does organise the defence great. Same with Keane. I think the two of them are quite similar, and you know what you're going to get with them generally. Obviously, really, really annoyed with Keane for the Spurs game. But just in terms of this fixture, the Holgate Godfrey partnership, I don't think the balance works quite so well with that. I think you want one big stopper and one quick mobile like the Jags and Distan. I don't think this works. However, just in terms of the movement and pace that Villa possess, Mina tends to switch off when it comes to runs in behind him. Same with Keane. I'm dealing with that movement and the pace up front. So I've changed it. Is that my team? That's not my team.
Whose team's that then?
Whose team's that?
It's not mine.
Don't know.
Did you? Because Gabamin's not nowhere near it. Hang on, talk amongst yourselves for a minute.
It's full of live TV.
I would play 3 at the back personally, because we were playing that for a few weeks before last week, and last week I wouldn't have gone back to the back 4. I just think we need a bit of consistency till the end of the season. I think we need to stick with it. If we're going to go with the back 4, we go with the back 4. But go with the back 5, we go with the back 5. But personally, I would bring Mina in the center of the back line this week.
I'm arguing against Yerry because this is why. The pace and movement of Ollie Watkins running off Mina is exactly what Villa will like. No, I'm gonna explain this in a minute, right? I don't really like Delph, but the reason I've gone with Delph in midfield is because I think this gives Richarlison more license to. Can you move? Can I move to the side just for a sec? Yeah, this formation actually gives Richarlison more opportunity to play as sort of a left-sided striker. And it's flexible, and Dean can get forward and kind of play like the left winger in this formation. And then when that happens, when Dean is forward and Richarlison's tucking in or linking up, Delph can sit and he can kind of drop into that left back spot, which I think is quite important because I just don't think we're seeing the best out of Dean at the moment in terms of going forward. And I think Richarlison, I'd like to see him off the side. I'd like to go back to that formation that we saw in the first 7 games. Alan's in there. Sigurdsson, I can't really drop him at the moment. He's not doing anything wrong. Gomez hasn't done enough for me in there. And James obviously on the right, but he's not really on the right. He's kind of tucking in and Coleman will get forward. And maybe some people say this is a little bit too offensive and too forward thinking. But I think we're at home. We've got to win the game. I'm not overly concerned about Villa, but I am enough to, make adjustments to my personnel to accommodate and to try and combat them. Give me your reaction to that, and would you change anything, Mabbsy? And
no, I think it's a fair assessment. Actually, to be fair, right? I can't say anything wrong with it. But as I say, we haven't even seen these yet.
No, but we're working on the assumption here that everyone's fully fit.
Yeah, we'll hope so because no one said anything, have they? So,
apart from Jean.
Kapaman again.
Well, we don't know how far off the Corey is.
Yeah, I think he's a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
He might return to training.
Want to see him back before the end of the season.
In terms of the centre-back partnership, though, Holgate and Godfrey, I know I said I didn't really like it. I have gone with it just for the movement at the pace against Villa, because I think if we're going to play progressive football and they're going to try and get us with a long ball in behind, I think we need our most mobile defence. Ancelotti has talked about that before. Or you're really adamant on actually bringing Mina in for this game, David?
Well, I am big. I'm just thinking about it from an offensive point of view as well. Offset pieces, we don't really have a lot when Mina doesn't play. I mean, we have Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison are very good aerial threats, but without one of Keane or Mina or both of them, that aerial from set pieces is depleted. You bring Mina in, you've got him attacking set pieces, you've got him defending against Mings and Concert, who are big, strong units, going to come up for set pieces. So I'd just be bearing that in mind. But I'm more thinking because I want to go back to the back 5. And I know it didn't really work at the start of the season, but from what I saw against Spurs, when we pressed them, I want a high press. So I want it more of a 3-4-3, high press on them. And I want to dictate the game. If it's going to be a back 5 where we drop off and let them have the ball, then no, thank you.
There's no winging. There's no combinations out wide when you do that formation 4-3-3. I think the problem is we need these combinations out wide to be able to create crossing opportunities to cross for Calvert-Lewin to score. And I know what you're saying about trying to accommodate everyone, but does it accommodate everyone? Does it just kind of limit the way we play? Joe, I think you're Joe. I'm just making an assumption. You could be John or something else. But I've seen you around on the channel. Thanks for watching. We will need someone to mark Watkins because if not, he will get him behind and make runs off people. This is exactly what I've been saying, mate. Spot on. And George says the most important change to make on Saturday is the mentality. If we play like we did against Arsenal, it will be a struggle. We've got to be positive against Spurs and Palace, but more clinical. this is a really good point, because if you look at how we played against Spurs, I thought we were excellent up to the 2 stupid little Michael Keane errors. Yeah. The football we played there was the best of this 5-game sort of turbulent run. And we should have beaten Spurs. We were unlucky not to. And against the Arsenal game, we were pretty poor, especially in that second half. And we were just gifted against a team that's even more, unfortunately, with the greatest respect, even more of an embarrassment than us on their day. So, yeah, we can't play like we did against. We were really shy, and we feared the Arsenal name rather than playing against the players on the pitch, who on paper were, they had a centre mid at left back, and he had a centre back at right back, and they had the 2 strikers missing. I think we just went there and kind of played the name and the occasion rather than who was in front of us. So we've got to play like we did against Spurs and be positive. And yeah, it is Joe. Joe, keep watching.
If that game last week had gone on for another 10 minutes, you could argue Arsenal would have got a goal. I do worry when we sit back and we try and defend for like 20 minutes on a 1-0 lead, like we did against Spurs. We tend to just let in a sloppy goal and drop 2 points. You look at Villa last week, they played West Brom. They were losing 2-1. They started piling on the pressure, and eventually they got the equaliser right at the end. No time for West Brom to respond. And I think they had 22 shots in that game. So they're no slouch when it comes to attacking.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So that's the team news, and we don't expect any more injuries, and we think that was my lineup. Dave, you've given yours. Mabs, you're just happy with mine. You haven't got anything else to...
No, I've got nothing to add. At the end of the day, I think, as I say, obviously Decore, isn't fit, so you can't include him. So
I know. He's the biggest miss. He's the reason why we're not doing as well.
Yeah, it is horrible. But we don't like them blaming injuries, but...
For me, he's the reason we're not doing anything right now, and we're struggling. Decore.
It's huge, isn't it? The
he's a linchpin.
He was just a major buy, to be fair.
Your team, when I was looking at it, one of my criticisms with it would be playing Sigurdsson as the right midfielder in that 3.
I didn't have anyone else.
I just felt like with James on that side and Coleman wants to get forward, I just feel like that wouldn't work that well. I mean, Decore in there would work really well, but that's when we don't have all our players, we lose the balance, don't we?
Look,
exactly.
I know. I'm not looking at that team and thinking, fuck me, that's brilliant. I'm looking at that team thinking, yeah, Sigurdsson's the weak link on that right-hand side.
I think if you're going to go
can't play with James on the same side.
It becomes 4-2-3-1. You match Villa up. Sigurdsson goes in the number 10. Delph and Allen sit as proper sitting defensive midfielders. And then James off the right, Richarlison off the left.
Okay, we'll do that then.
But
no, it's a good point. 4-2-3-1, 2 holding midfielders. 3 behind the striker, Sigurdsson central, James off the right, and Richarlison off the left. There's no width, but you'll just have to...
I mean, last week we played a bit more of a 4-4-2, didn't we? With a bit like when Ancelotti first came in and he played 4-4-2 with the inside forwards.
Yeah, Richarlison
on the right and Bernard on the left. We had Sigurdsson on the left, didn't we? And Richarlison on the right as like a withdrawn inside forward. So I wouldn't be surprised if he just sticks with that, to be honest.
Was it time to give Bernard a go? I think he's off, but he's off in the summer, isn't he? 100%. But
I don't blame him. At the end of the day, he's not getting game. He's not a Carlo player, which again, fair dues, good luck. So I've got no animosity about.
He scored some good goals.
He really has
got talent.
Yeah.
I could link up with Dean.
No, I just don't know. But has he?
No, yeah, I think he's shown a good link up with Dean. Yeah,
he's not great off the bat. I think he's a good.
Been a long time, but I think so.
Listen, all the wingers at the club.
The transport, isn't he?
Would you play Josh King?
No, he's off. He's
off
to Turkey. He's off to Turkey.
I just think it's too late to play. What's the point now? I just think it was a Marcel Band's panic buy, and obviously not Ancelotti's buy.
Yeah, he doesn't like him, but I think he's a good player, and in the counter-attacking system, he could be a reasonable addition. But he's not staying.
He's not staying, and you know what? Fair play to the lads, because at the end of the day, he's come here. He could have gone to Fulham. And potentially fall out in the Championship again. but
he'd have played.
He got games, exactly, and we promised him. I don't know if we promised him game time, but we dangled that carrot in front of him, and I just feel it's a bit shit on him. To be honest, we should have given him a few games.
And Iwobi, do you want to see him brought in?
No.
I mean, I can't. Mabbs, come back in a little bit.
Okay. No, sorry.
Yeah, you don't want Iwobi in. You wouldn't give him a go.
No.
Not one more width.
No.
Trickery, pace, strength.
It's ironic, isn't it, that we envisage Iwobi as providing the width when he wants to play number 10, which is a central role. But
we don't possess a winger at this football club at this stage. Richarlison isn't a winger for me. He doesn't have the pace to beat players. He doesn't have the intelligence to play that position, I don't think. And Bernard, obviously, I think he's a decent little player, but he's so inconsistent. And with Iwobi, he couldn't cross his arms. So this is the problem that we have. And I think this is an Everton team with two forwards. Look at the lack of headed goals Richarlison scored this season, and look at last season and the season before. He is a dynamic forward. Yeah, no one's crossing the ball anymore. And if you've got two centre forwards like them two who can do it on the floor in the 6-yard box and in the air, cross the fucking ball. And to do that, you've got to find a way of getting your foot. If it's got to be coming from the fullbacks, find a way of getting them up the pitch.
Yeah.
Well, he spared a few, didn't he? Literally against Spurs and Palace. So there was definitely a header Richarlison had against Palace that he hit over. So it's not like he hasn't had the chances the last few games, but yeah, I'd like to see a few more crosses getting in.
Predictions then?
Let's see what the team is tomorrow, because no doubt Ancelotti will throw out a few injuries from nowhere.
They keep everything secretive, don't they? And it's
2-0 to us. Without injuries.
Look, if you're watching it back and there's injuries, we apologise. We can't. Everything's kept so quiet at the moment, and we're going to work now on the assumption that James and Calvert-Lewin and Dean aren't playing and got a mysterious injury in training, and yeah, I don't know. But look, as far as we know, everyone's fit, and we can't complain at that. And we've gone with that team on the basis. We probably know it's going to be a 4-4-2 diamond at 5 at the back. But we still have to fantasize and see what we can do. He's changing it every week. I think that's the problem,
anything, couldn't it? We've played 5 at the back. We've played 3 at the back. We've played 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, 4-1-2-1-2. You could take them out of a hat, couldn't you?
It's every formation: 4-3-3, 4-4-2, 4-5-1, 5-4-1,
4-2 inside forward, 4-4-2 normal.
Yeah, he knows every system, but I just don't think that allows you to build any chemistry. And the fans don't really like it. A lot of fans at the moment, they love Carlo as the person, but they're not happy with this football. It's boring, and it seems to change too much. But we're not going to go there. We're now going to move on. I think briefly, if there's any way of doing this, and we're going to just touch on Marcel Brands' contract. Obviously, David brought that in, but Mabbs, I want to get your opinion. So the way I look at it at the moment is signings like Iwobi, Gabamin, Delph.
Yeah, but then you look on the other
like
side.
Dean and Godfrey.
Exactly. So, yeah, he's hit and miss. Is he better than Walsh? Yeah. Who are we going to get? At the end of the day, yeah, I think he's doing well for us. Not obviously set the pitch of fire that we thought we was going to, but he's a good tactician. He's a good negotiator. So, on the whole, yeah, sound by me.
Has he been kept because he's likable and easy to work with, or because he's unearthed particular gems? Because I'm getting the impression it's a little bit of the first as well. I don't think he's...
right, though. Well, there's nothing wrong in that. But at the end of the day, the Spanish clubs seem to fucking love him.
Where are the gems coming from? Where are these? Why are Leicester picking out these players?
Yeah, the scouting networks, and but remember they scouted Vardy, and then we thought, I'll tell you what, we'll get Steve Walsh in, and what did he do? By like nearly left number 10s, so for like £1 billion or something.
Yeah.
So you can't say to the director of football, we replicated that and we still didn't get off these gems. You know what I mean?
I mean, he talks about youth, doesn't he? He talks about it, and he looks at our youth team. He watches our games, so he looks to progress them. But he doesn't seem to be looking at other teams' youth academies and trying to pimp players like Leicester do. But then, each director of football is to their own, and they all have positives, negatives. and he is a good he's a good negotiator, as you say. He got James on a free. He's done some good deals. He got Keane the loan without committing to the fee. You know,
absolutely. You know, that's it. How much are we going to get for him? I mean, have you heard the rumor about Coutinho?
Yeah, that's not going to happen, is it?
Why not?
Well, it's
another slow, creative player in midfield.
Why do we keep getting linked?
I wouldn't have him
with like players we already have, like number 10s and also centre backs. There's some obsession with it.
He likes wide players who play between the lines, whereas the fans want wingers who get to the byline and cross it onto Calvert instead. Yeah. That's what Evertonians want, and hard-hitting midfielders.
Have you seen another rumour again going around that United are wanting Cat DCL?
Yeah, I think that was inevitable. I've seen rumours on a few accounts about that in the past, and I think that was just an inevitable 2 and 2 together and getting 5. But he won't be for sale.
Well, he's not for sale. I was necessarily said that he's not, but whatever he does, wherever he goes on, that's no matter.
James's contract. There's talk about him potentially being able to speak with clubs because it's a 2-year deal or something or other, and at some stage in the next 12 months he can talk to other clubs. Would you tie him down with a new contract? And if so,
I'd try to.
How long?
I'd try to.
How long for?
Him in a stadium, he's going to be a different prospect to what he is now. You know, whoever's come over from, you know, this year, you know, it's been completely different to what it's like in the Premier League. You know, with the fans blazing and everything like that, the piped in music at the shite, and it's just a different concept completely. And so what, you know, he's been brilliant this season, but with fans, he's going to be even better. So yeah, of course, to try and tie him down. Of course I would.
Okay, excellent. 4 years, 3 years, 2 years?
4. Why not?
Do you think his contract is very much tied into...
You're having him 4 years?
Yeah.
He can't run now anyway, so... But he could be injured for 3 years and you could be in the right shit.
That's the problem in it as a gamble.
And 150 grand a week.
No. Yeah. But I'm not paying a wage bill, so there we go.
You don't care. Just keep him. You want to see him. And I think you've got to expect a minimum and a maximum, really, even of 20 games a season from him. And if you get more than that, then great. And he's still going to get, 7 or 8 goals, and you're going to get a lot of entertainment. Wrap him in cotton wool. Get more players of his caliber in. Keep him happy. Once the fans are in the ground, it's going to be a different ball game, as you say. That's a really interesting comment, actually. And I think we'll see that at some point soon. Hopefully they let the fans in.
Hopefully Wolves. We can go and see, go back and go listen for Wolves.
Fans are knocking at the door.
I'm hoping that I've
let
got a
them
ticket.
in.
Praying I've got a
ticket. Yeah, you've been waiting so long. One more thing. Super League. We didn't do the Everton show this week. Let's talk about it. Are you glad it's not happening, or would you?
Of course. You know, every fucking Evertonian will be glad it's not happening. Every fan of football will be glad it is not happening. But at the end of the day, you know, everyone, all the big six have not mentioned it. You know, suddenly seem to have just got off of it again. Yes.
What do you think of the backtracking?
I think it was by rights. They should have backtracked, and they shouldn't have been there in the first place. You know, destroying English football, the fucking rats, absolutely fucking rats. There wasn't even they were going to break away, but they didn't even have a plan of how people want to how other teams are going to qualify. To have a competition. It's not a competition if you can't get relegated. I think they tried this in Super League, and they scrapped it because it was shit.
And, the motives behind it, money, not asked about the fans.
It's not asked. I think wasn't one chairman was rumoured to have said, and I quote, "Money first, fans second." And then there's also another rumour, which, again, not saying who it is, but as across the park owner, was at a football game and said, what colour of shirt are we playing in? That sums it up, doesn't it?
They don't care. But you know what I don't get about these clubs, these teams? They're owned by millionaire, billionaire families. We're not talking about people with a few quid in their pocket. We're talking about multi-billionaires. Why do they need more money? Why are they not satisfied with making their team?
Greed. It's just sheer greed. It's sheer greed. And at the end of the day, this isn't going away. I don't think, because they know. Why aren't they selling now that they can't make these so-called billions, and still they don't want to sell? Seems odd to me a bit. I think they'll try a shithouse maneuver again. This is why they should be punished. They should be docked points to say, well, look, hang on, you try this again, and this is it. But if they get away with it like they're doing now, they're going to try it again, thinking, well, yeah, we got
Portsmouth's got dock points.
Yeah,
Wigan got dock points.
Exactly. Wigan is a prime example of the game. It's not fair in the fans. Well, it wasn't fair on Wigan that the owner, that the championship. This is Wigan. So this isn't fair. The championship did their due diligence on this guy. Yeah, but the club put Beckham's go down. What the fuck was that about? And then sacked them. Was he sacked the manager or something? Then
disgrace.
Proper shit out. And then they knew it was going on, and they still punished him, even though Sheffield Wednesday got theirs. It's not right, but it wasn't fair on their fans. But how so-called top big six? It's not fair on them. Bullshit.
Well, Dave, you talked about security, and that was an interesting thing. You think they want to create a monopoly and make sure they can't get relegated?
But at the moment,
it's about forecasting and making the businesses 10 times. You know what, though? If you can guarantee your profit and loss, or you can guarantee your turnover, your business becomes, 10 times the value that it is now. Then when you can't predict the value, you can't guarantee that you're going to get it. You get the income, of course.
They're protecting themselves, aren't they? Because they can't be relegated. So for a start, they can't go down out the Premier League. Second of all, they're going into an exclusive group, and they're going to get more control of the fixtures of the TV, right?
Yeah.
They're going to earn a lot more money than anyone else. Basically, those clubs will have 90% of the money, and they will never be able to be, rival. It's just not a sport, is it? It's just a business at that point.
It would be, at the end of the day, I'm not stupid to say football's not a business. It's not. It is a business, obviously, but it's also... It's a different type of business. It's a community-led business at the end of the day.
Great.
And,
you need people for it. You've got to have people to actually follow the sport, to pay into it. Without
but I think but these people don't give a shit, because at the end of the day, they could play in an empty stadium but still get the fucking TV viewers. And that's the grotesque thing about it.
It's more of the international viewers, isn't it, though?
Yeah,
they're not bothered about domestic.
Asia,
India, the international shirt sales.
Massive.
For the TV rights in India and China and all these places.
Yeah, and then apparently they're going to be able to sell their own rights as well. Don't know how that was going to work, but
they have their own channels.
Yeah,
so they can make a fortune, basically.
They can make an absolute
fortune. Yeah, billions.
I mean, you've got that. I mean, I'm glad it's gone, but then you've got the new Champions League format, which is bad for me personally. I think that's bad as well.
It's bad, but it
lets anyone come in who's got history.
I think it's bad, but it's not as bad as what.
No, it's not.
But it was.
It's not as bad, but I think looking from the outside as someone who watches some Champions League, but Everton haven't been in the proper Champions League. I see the fault as, we've got these like Molders and your Liechtenstein. I think what they're saying is we want the competition to be more competitive. If you stick the big six of, the top six of the Premier League and the top six of Spain and Germany, and take out some of those minor teams, it will be more competitive.
Of course it will, but at the end of the day as well, he's not saying that, but with regards to it, we would still qualify. Just for instance, in this situation, we finished fourth, the Shite finished fifth, we would still qualify for the Champions League. It would be they would go as a wild card. Now, as grotesque as that
ridiculous.
But at least it's not at our expense.
But it's like the relegation thing. I know it's not as bad, but they're getting in with not earning it that year. So you're not getting relegated, but you might have been shite, you know.
No, I get that, and I get the whole thing, but I get it, but
it's got to be stopped as well. Really,
it's got to be better. Well,
they've got to find a common goal, haven't they? Where we can't destroy relegation and promotion. We can't let all the big teams have all the money. There's got to be a balance and a way of improving things without.
That's why you're protecting the Premier League doing it that way, because at the end of the day, I just think, I know what you're saying. It's a minefield.
It is one where they want to kind of sort their own interests out, and I wonder where that would leave the Premier League with if they did go in terms of that Super League. Where does that leave? Where would that have left?
At the end of the day, where's the money? Because that's in midweek football, and again, not being, and I hate to say this about Everton, but let's be honest, people don't pay subscriptions to watch Everton. They pay to watch the likes of United. They pay to watch the likes of Liverpool and teleclapping and all that shite that goes along with it.
Abroad, we're talking about.
In the UK, for Sky. In the UK, all the armchair fans, I fucking supported Liverpool all my life. Never been to a fucking game.
There are Evertonians who watch on the TV though.
There are, but I'm not. How often, without obviously every game being shown, are we physically on to warrant to buy Sky?
I think what's happened now is actually kind of changed the way we perceive football live. We assume every game is live because it is, and I'd like to see that all the time. I don't think that attendances.
I don't think it affects attendances. I don't. It affects fans' lives. At the moment, you can put a game on.
The way it's scheduled. Okay.
No, the way it's scheduled. Okay, so you're putting the game on at say Sunday at 8:00 at night. How many people got work Monday morning? And then
just put them on.
Let me finish. So if you get, say, I don't know, Brighton, if they're still in it, right? On the Sunday at 8:00. So so you're not. So the game doesn't finish till 10. It's a 4 or 5 hour drive. You're not getting home to 1, 2, 3 in the morning. Got work in the morning. You're not going to be. You're not ready. It's not fair on the fans that go.
But why can't they sensibly televise the fixtures?
They can't because you've also got to remember that the Saturday 3:00 game cannot be shown on TV.
Has it not been shown on TV at this
point? It has.
Just play the game.
I'm saying change it and let us.
No. But it has been shown, and this is the point. You still got them, but you can't show the Saturday 3:00. So that would make it even worse. Because the reason the government have changed the rules because of COVID to allow the fast Saturday at 3:00 to be shown, right? So it can't be. Every game cannot be televised. At the end of the day, they don't want games playing alongside each other because. Again, they take away TV revenues from each other. So unless they're prepared, the Friday at 8:00 is happening. I know that was already decided. Again, the Saturday I think at 8:00 as well. That's coming in, but no,
because they know they'll get away fans in any ground anyway if it's.
But it's not. But a Sunday at 8:00. A Sunday at 8:00. I'm sorry, no.
You make a great point though about having all the games on. They don't want the games on at the same time.
And then again, you got Monday at 6:00 again.
Yeah, we'll scrap the shitty ones.
That's an impossible.
I think they've got 7 at the moment, or 7:30 on a Sunday for that reason.
Well, it's not good enough. As I say, that's the 7. But that's what I'm saying. There's those Sunday games, those 6:00 games on a weekday. Yeah, you can do it because no one's coming home from work. Nobody's going to the game, so there's no traffic.
If these were the
fish trying to get to a stadium with 40,000 people on a Monday night, not going to happen.
If these were the real times that people had to go to games, everyone would be kicking off. I mean, Friday nights at 8:00 and
this is what I'm
Sunday
saying.
morning
at
12.
People
you can't show every game.
But who wants to go at 12 a.m., 12 noon? To a match? You'd have to go get there 11.
No, some of the Sunday games were shown right early at 1 o'clock, so you granted that. But the late games and then the Monday afternoon games, as I call them, the 6 o'clock, they're not happening. You could physically, unless you're running games back to back, which the broadcasters won't do, you're not going to get every game.
Mm.
And then you have the same positioning you're in now. So the likes of the United, the likes of Liverpool, the likes of City are shown every week, and then everyone else is just fitted around.
Cracking. Mabbs, thanks for joining.
Yeah, no worries.
Basil, Dave, really good video. Really enjoyed this preview. If you enjoyed it, make sure you like and subscribe. We'll be back for our reaction to the game on the weekend. Yeah. Anything else you want to say?
No, that's it.
Okay. Well, you two enjoy tomorrow, and I'll speak to you on the weekend. Mabbs, if you're joining us for the reaction or not. If not, we'll see you on the next preview.
Hopefully,
Dave,
I can't go and see it there. I'll see what I'm doing.
That's not what our audience want to hear.
Well, I can't commit at this stage.
He can't commit, then our audience might not commit. Listen, no,
they will commit.
Me and Basil will be on doing a reaction, rest assured. And we look forward to seeing you on that. So be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching this on Facebook, then just like and comment. Thank you. Take care. Bye now.